Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Lewis University's television network. Today is Thursday, May 1st, 2025. I'm Brendan Najera.
And I'm Abby Varkalis.
Tonight, a man returns from a Belarusian prison, plus the new statistics of where people are flourishing in the world. The nations leading the way, including our neighbors to the south, Mexico. Those stories and more as we begin with breaking news. After weeks of tense bargaining that at times turned sour, Washington and Kiev have signed an agreement that sets the stage for a long-term relationship between the countries. The U.S. gets access to Kiev's rare earth minerals in return for investing in Ukrainians' reconstruction. Kiev says it will retain full ownership and control of its resources, determining which minerals to extract and from where.
The Trump administration's tariffs will affect Americans from head to toe if they wear Adidas. Officials say all Adidas items, including hats and shoes, are expected to cost more as a result of the White House's policies. The company's CEO released a statement saying the uncertainty over the U.S. tariffs could threaten the company's outlook for the rest of the year, despite a strong first quarter. Adidas manufactures and sources many products in countries like China, Vietnam, and India. On April 9th, the President Trump announced a 3-month tariff pause for many countries except for China, which is still facing a 145% import penalty. He says he might have some rates settled in 2 or 3 weeks.
The nonprofit media watchdog group Common Sense Media says kids under 18 shouldn't use artificial intelligence companion apps. Conversations with companion chatbots can include sexual and self-harm messages. In a report published Wednesday, the group said the apps pose unacceptable risks to children and teens. It follows a lawsuit filed last year over the suicide of a 14-year-old boy whose last conversation was with a chatbot. The suit against Character.ai drew attention to the possible risks this new category of conversational apps may pose to young people. For the report, Common Sense Media and Stanford University researchers tested 3 AI companion services: Character.ai, Replika, and Nomi. Nomi and Replika say their platforms are only for adults. Character.ai says it recently implemented additional youth safety measures. Researchers say more safeguards are needed.
Walmart shared an update on its Store of the Future renovations. More than 650 locations in 47 states and Puerto Rico are getting updated this year. The retail giant announced Wednesday which stores in 5 states are slated for the revamp. Walmart says the stores will be more sustainable with energy-efficient equipment and lighting and electronic vehicle fast charging stations. The updates include bigger signs and displays, more selection, expanded online pickup and delivery, and a new pharmacy layout. Walmart says the remodel projects will create tens of thousands of jobs. In addition, Walmart is also building or converting more than 150 sites over the next 5 years.
According to several sources, the Trump administration is in talks with Libya and Rwanda regarding a plan for them to take migrants with criminal records. White House officials also reportedly hope to reach an agreement to send asylum seekers apprehended at the border to Libya. Shortly after taking office, President Trump signed an executive order that directed officials to have asylum seekers sent elsewhere. On Wednesday, Secretary of State Marco Rubio confirmed the U.S. is, quote, actively searching for other countries to take people. This plan to remove migrants to Libya and Rwanda is expected to be challenged in court. Last month, the White House was temporarily blocked from deporting people to different countries without providing them a chance to contest the move. Up next, Yuris Zenkovich returns to America after being released from prison in Belarus. That and more in international news after these messages.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years and I got my 3rd child who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
save you!
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
U.S. officials say an American detained in Belarus has been freed. Yuris Zankovich was arrested in Moscow in 2021 and brought to Belarus. He was accused of being part of a U.S.-backed coup plan against Belarus strongman leader Alex Lukashenko. The U.S. State Department denied any involvement in the plot. Special Envoy for Hostage Recovery Adam Bowler said Zankovich was turned over at the border with neighboring Lithuania to a team of U.S. officials. He's expected to arrive back to the U.S. on Thursday. Zankovich had been declared wrongfully detained in February of this year. A U.S. official said his release was not part of a prisoner swap.
Wildfires raging near Jerusalem forced evacuations in several areas and led to several major road closures on Wednesday as firefighters struggled to contain the flames amid dry conditions and high winds. Israel is seeking international assistance to fight the fires as the defense minister says the country is in a time of national emergency. The fire forced authorities to close Route 1, the major road connecting Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, on Wednesday, Israel's Memorial Day. Videos from social media show people walking along the highway with thick smoke filling the air. The fire is active on multiple fronts. Authorities said, with one area concentrated around the town of Neve Shalom, located about 15 miles west of Jerusalem. In one clip, the flame can be seen next to the road along a packed section of highway. Authorities said at least 6 communities in the area have been evacuated. Authorities said Israel has asked for international assistance to fight the fire.
According to a new study, Indonesia is the country where people flourish the most, followed by Mexico and the Philippines. The Global Flourishing Study was published Wednesday, but what does it mean to flourish? According to the report, flourishing indicates you're living a good life and it's more than individual happiness. It's evaluated from multiple dimensions, including health, financial security, meaning, and relationships. Many of the places that scored the highest in terms of flourishing didn't rank highly in assessments of the world's happiest countries.
Ecuador's police reported a new blow to drug trafficking on Tuesday in the waters surrounding the iconic Galapagos Islands. Authorities said they intercepted 2.5 tons of drugs about 175 nautical miles northeast of San Cristobal Island, the second most populated island in the archipelago and the capital of Galapagos province. During a routine surveillance operation, members of the Ecuadorian Navy and police inspected a vessel and found 71 packages of drugs. Following the inspection, 22 people were arrested, including a Venezuelan and Mexican national. According to authorities, this seizure prevented the drugs from reaching their destination and dealt an estimated $6 million loss to the trafficking networks.
Wednesday marks the 50th anniversary of the end of the Vietnam War, which the Vietnamese called the American War. People are celebrating the anniversary across Vietnam this week, including a large military parade in Ho Chi Minh City. Bright red flags with yellow stars, banners, and posters decorate streets and buildings. The end of the war was a significant event that marked the fall of the Saigon and the reunification of the North and South Vietnam. The United States was heavily involved in the war. The cost was about $200 billion, more than 58,000 American lives, and millions of Vietnamese lives. Next, the new curfew ordinance from the City of Chicago Council Committee. Local news up next.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought-after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong, growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. it always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Chicago City Council Committee delayed vote on controversial curfew ordinance aimed at combating downtown teen takeovers. The proposed measure would allow Police Superintendent Larry Snelling and the Deputy Mayor of Community Safety to enact a 3-hour curfew during large youth gatherings. Minors would have 30 minutes to disperse before the curfew takes effect, with violators and their parents facing fines up to $250 and community service. The ordinance is in response to recent violent incidents in Streeterville, including shootings involving a teen and a tourist. Mayor Brandon Johnson and civil rights groups expressed concern over its constitutionality. While at least 31 aldermen support the measure, a full city council vote on the curfew ordinance is expected next month.
The Northern Illinois Food Bank is hosting its annual Fight Hunger 10K, 5K, and 1 mile walk this Saturday at Contigny Park in Wheaton. The event runs from 8:30 a.m. to noon and aims to raise funds for over 900 food pantries from across the Chicago area. Last year, the food bank provided 90 million meals to those in need. Participants of all ages and fitness levels are encouraged to join this family-friendly fundraiser. For more information or to register, visit solvehungertoday.org/fightinghunger. LUTN reporter Christian Kluver visited the Lewis University Police Department to see a furry friend known to many on campus as Jet. Let's take a look.
At Lewis University, support comes from more than just people. It comes from paws too. Today we're going to meet Jet, our university comfort canine, and quite possibly our favorite four-legged friend.
Jet's role here is he serves as Lewis University's comfort canine. He's an integral part of the campus. He committed to fostering safety and comforting students in time of need.
Jet is more than just a campus mascot. Trained as a certified comfort dog, Jet works alongside the Lewis University Police Department to offer emotional support to students, faculty, and staff.
Jet definitely makes me happier when I see him. He definitely brings a smile to my face. Jet definitely has a large impact on the university's mood. You know, there's therapy dogs, so I think Jet offers kind of those kinds of happy feelings that are related to being around dogs and just having a overall better outlook.
Students love him. We get requests for him all the time. Students can spend one-on-one time with him. Obviously, he's out and about around the campus all times. I've observed him on multiple occasions with students that were going through some type of crisis. He calms them down and provides support for them.
Whether it's a stressful exam or just a rough week, Jet shows up when it's needed most. And at Lewis University, this kind of presence makes all the difference for our students.
Every time Jet's around, everybody seems to be happy. We do interact with the staff as well as the students. We get requests from the staff. So we visit staff and students, and it seems like whatever mood you're in, if you're in a down mood, when everybody ever sees Jet, they always seem to change their mood and get in a more positive mood.
For LUTN, I'm Christian Kluber.
The winning ticket for a $349 million Mega Millions jackpot was purchased at Casey's General Store in Cortland, Illinois. The anonymous group of winners, identifying themselves as blessed, matched all 5 numbers and the Mega Ball in the March 25 drawing. They stated they plan to use the winnings for good causes, describing the prize as the gift that keeps on giving. The store that sold the ticket received a $500,000 bonus. Federal and state taxes will reduce the prize by approximately $101 million. This is Illinois' 4th major Mega Millions win in recent years. Up next, we'll have your entertainment update.
The Ray Strong Foundation was created about 4 years ago. It came after, as a couple, we had our first child. She was born at 24 weeks. She weighed 1 pound, 12 ounces. Then she proceeded to spend another 4 months in the NICU. That was the time that she should have been growing in the womb. During the 4 months, we visited her daily, and we got to sit down with the doctors and the nurses, and the amount of medical knowledge and what they can do to make sure that your child survives is amazing. And just the experience, it was nothing we could have ever been prepared for. So emotionally, we became very tied to the micropreemie world. And that was when we decided to create a foundation with the goal of trying to give thanks back to the NICUs, the nurses, and then also provide any sort of emotional or financial help to other families that might experience what we went through.
We've had the opportunity to host over 40 events, celebrating micropreemies, fundraising, and bringing awareness to micropreemies and their families. When you get a chance, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, or our website at raystrong.org. Donate, and thanks again for all the support.
Thank you.
What are you looking for?
A former member of a musical group formed by Sean Diddy Combs is accusing him of sexual battery, sexual harassment, and false imprisonment. Don Richard, a former member of Danity Kane, Don Richard formed as a part of the MTV reality series Making the Band, filed a lawsuit Tuesday in New York General Federal Court. In the complaint, Richard accuses Combs of touching her body and watching her undress. The filing also alleges that Richard witnessed Combs brutally beat his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. She claims she saw Combs choke, punch, and strike Ventura with objects. Combs' attorney denied these allegations and accused Richard of having a financial motive. Richard is seeking a trial by jury and damages. 10 complaints have been made against Combs since November. Combs' attorneys have issued motions to dismiss many of the claims against him. It's a girl. Rupert Grint announced that he and his partner, Georgia Groom, had their welcomed a new baby. The Harry Potter star revealed on social media that the little one is named Goldie G. Grint. Groom and Grint also share a daughter, Wednesday, who was born in 2020. The couple has been together since 2011. This was seen Monday night in Texas, but wait, it's not Texas, it's Inglewood, California. SoFi Stadium has been invaded by cowboy hats and boots for the kickoff of Beyoncé's Cowboy Carter Tour. Her fans have embraced the country album, even if the Nashville establishment didn't. But she left all the way to the Grammys, taking home the Country Album of the Year in February. And now, well, let's just say that for SoFi Stadium, 5 nights before moving on to Chicago. Once there, she'll play Soldier Field for 3 nights. And on it goes as Queen Bee takes her act the road through much of the summer. It's time to rock out because we now know the names of the artists who will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame later this year. A total of 7 artists are part of this year's class. They are Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, Outkast, Soundgarden, The White Stripes, Bad Company, and Joe Cocker. The induction ceremony will take place in Los Angeles in November. Artists become eligible for a nomination if they have had at least 25 years since they've released their first commercial recording. Several other artists will also be honored at the ceremony. They include the band Salt-N-Pepa and the late Warren Zevon. Actress Gwyneth Paltrow is back eating cheese again after following a strict paleo diet for years. During Tuesday, the Goop podcast, the 52-year-old Iron Man star revealed that she was getting sick of the diet, adding that she is now eating some, quote, sourdough bread and some cheese. The paleo diet consists of eating lots of fruits and veggies, nuts, lean meats, and fish participants to avoid consuming dairy products, sugar, grains, legumes, and highly processed foods. Paltrow said that she and her husband got on the diet because of, quote, health stuff. She says the diet was a good template for her to eat healthy. Up next, Jaden Elmore with your health update.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
"27 states have passed laws restricting or banning gender-affirming health care for transgender youth. That's according to data from the Movement Advancement Project, a nonprofit think tank that advocates for LGBTQ rights. An estimated 40% of transgender youth aged 13 to 17 reportedly live in those states. Meanwhile, more than a dozen states and the District of Columbia have passed laws protecting access to gender-affirming care. The issue of bans to gender-affirming care has made it to the nation's high courts. The Supreme Court late last year heard oral arguments in a case that challenges Tennessee's ban on transgender care for minors. This time of year can be especially busy, and if your energy to get things done is sapped by the end of the day, your brain may just need a dopamine hit. If your to-do list keeps getting longer, but the motivation to get things done is in short demand, you're not alone. And experts say a dopamine menu or dopamenu may just be what you need. Dr. Sanjay Gupta says dopamine is neurotransmitter and a key part of our brain's reward system. He says it's critical for decision making, planning, and the ability to pay attention. To design your own dopamine, Gupta says to write down a list of activities you can turn to before it needed. They should be reasonable to do, and the ones you personally enjoy, consider ones that involve mindful movement, like a short walk, a one-song dance party, or a bike ride. You can also consider creative outlets like writing social connections, taking a break to see a friend, or rest and recovery, like a short nap or a shooting bathe. Florida is set to become the second state to ban fluoride from municipal drinking water. The Florida Farm Bill prohibits certain additives in drinking water. That effectively bans fluoride. State lawmakers passed the bill Tuesday and now goes to Governor Ron DeSantis for his signature. The state's Surgeon General says more than 70% of Floridians who use community water systems receive fluoridated water. Many cities have added fluoride to their treated drinking water for decades to help protect teeth from cavities. That was due to recommendations from both the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the World Health Organization. Fluoride is naturally occurring mineral found in soil, rocks, and water. It's also a byproduct of fertilizer production. In March, Utah became the first state to ban fluoride in public drinking water. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has pledged that the Trump administration will advise utilities to stop adding fluoride to public water. A bizarre race in Los Angeles took place Friday night, one that could only come from the mind of a 17-year-old. Welcome to what's billed as the first sperm race. Yeah, it's what it sounds like. A group of young men trained and then donated their swimmers to race on a microscopic track. The whole thing was streamed live, plus plenty of people showed up to watch it in person. It was backed by some wealthy investors and supports a bigger cause. Founder Eric Zhu says he did it to destigmatize men's health and male fertility. And in case you're wondering, the winner was a college student from the University of Southern California. Yes, the home of the Trojans. Up next, weather with Christian Kluver and sports with Abby Varkalis.
What are you looking for?
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
Welcome back, Flyers, to your weather forecast for this week and the last weather forecast for this semester. Up north in Rockford, it's going to be a low of 50, and up in Waukegan, it's going to be a low of 43. In the city of Chicago, we're going to be at a low of 47, and where we are at Lewis, between Cicero and Joliet, we're going to be teetering between 53 and 48 as our low. At west in Ottawa, it's going to be 53, down south 54, and out east in Indiana, it's going to be 51. For today's highs, it's going to be a 58 high in Rockford and a 63 high in Waukegan. In the city, it's going to be 68 in Chicago, and between Joliet and Cicero, again, where we are at Lewis, it's going to teeter between 73 and 72. Down south in Kankakee, it's going to be 70 degrees, and again, out east in Indy, it's going to be 72 to 75, ranging as the high. For our satellite, it looks like we have some scattered showers depending on where you're at. If you're by Quincy, out west, or just kind of where this area is where we're at, we might get some scattered showers, but hopefully they're going to pass quick. Down south by St. Louis, there's going to be a little bit more severe storms. There's some severe storms out in the Cincinnati, Cleveland area, but that has already passed us, so we should not have to worry about that. And again, same thing with all of these scattered showers should pass over us, so we shouldn't have to worry about that too much either. For temperature changes over the last 24 hours, it's a -6 degree temperature change up in Rockford, and up north again in Waukegan, a 5 degree temperature change. If we go all the way down south to Joliet, again similar to where we are at right here, it's going to be an 8 degree temperature change, and out east in Indiana, LaPorte, it's going to be a 5 degree temperature change, and South Bend is going to be a 3 degree temperature change. And for our 7-day outlook for Chicagoland on Friday, it's going to be a cloudy day, unfortunately. However, it is going to be 51, so not too cold. This weekend is going to be a rainy one. We might get some sun on Saturday. Our high is going to be 50 and 55 on Sunday. Our low is going to be 43 on Saturday and 46 on Sunday. During the week, we might get a little bit more sunshine. Monday's still going to be cloudy, however, a high of 55 and our low of 47. On Tuesday, partly cloudy. Wednesday, partly cloudy as well. Both of our highs are going to be 66 and our low is going to be 53. That is all for our weather forecast this week. Now we're going to pass to Abby Varkalis with sports.
The Lewis softball team exchanged in a battle with the University of Illinois Springfield, winning both games in doubleheaders Sunday in order to win co-regular season champions alongside Drury. In the first game, Lewis did not score a single point till the 7th inning. They then tied the game, both teams with 2 points in order to go into extra innings. To push the team ahead, Delaney Gardner recorded 13 strikeouts and no walks. In the bottom of the 11th, Anna Frafford scored on Grace Kamak, giving the team a walk-off win in Game 1. In the second game, Lewis would go on to win 5-0. A 3-run homer by Kristen Graham sent Nicole M. and Gardner home for the final runs of the doubleheader. Allie Wadraskic would go on to pitch a scoreless 7 innings, which included 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. After the game, Lewis softball celebrated the careers of Garden and Kamak, as today marked their final regular season home game in Romeoville. Lewis Athletics ranked 5th in the Winter Learfield Directors' Cup standings. Points are awarded through placements in the NCAA Division II championships. The sports had accumulated 455 total points, being pushed ahead by 5 winter sports: women's basketball, men's swimming, and men and women's track and field. The Flyers had improved previously, ranked 6th last year. Chris McDevitt and the Flyers took the first lead of the ballgame when he singled down the first baseline to send Cole Nelson home for a 1-0 lead. The Hawks then pitched effectively in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings, taking the lead with a 8-1 score. Lewis bounced back in the 7th inning, however. Will Bruno scored off of Nelson, doubled to left field. After that, Tyler Pumachanan singled to left field, sending Jackson Hunley home to score. Nelson would come across home on a wild pitch, and Pumachanan would score as well on a sac fly by George Bilecki to make it 8-5. The Hawks did not allow any more runs and put 2 more runs of their own on the board in the 7th and 8th to make it a 10-5 game. Quincy scored the first goal of the contest at 11:05 in the first quarter. Pronsick responded to a goal at 7:57 to tie the game at 1-1. The Hawks proceeded to score the next 4 goals, making it a 5-1 in favor of Quincy. Winterlich scored the final goal in the opening period from a pass from Elena Capolini. Lewis recorded the first 2 goals of the second quarter, narrowing the gap to 5-4 in the favor of Quincy. Ronnie passed the ball inside to Sweeney, who found the back of the net for the score. Ronnie scored next after receiving a pass from Capolini to make it a 1-score contest. The Hawks ended their scoring drought with another goal, extending their lead to 6-4. McKinnon assisted to Sweeney for the next goal, bringing the score to 6-5 in favor of Quincy. The Hawks scored again, closing the first half with a 7-5 advantage. Quincy scored the first goal of the second half 2 minutes in, extending their lead to 9-5. Lewis followed 3 unanswered goals, making it a 1-score game. Raven Jimenez passed it inside to Brazic for the goal 2.5 seconds later. McKinnon found Winterlich for a goal, making it 9-7. Lewis would end up making a promising comeback, but that didn't prove to be enough as Quincy finished out the last 4 minutes with the final 2 goals of the contest, extending their lead to 15-12. That score held up as the Hawks defeated the Flyers 15-12. The Lewis University women's tennis team hosted the University of Indianapolis Greyhounds for their last match of the regular season at the Jack Oramus Tennis Complex on Saturday, April 26th. The Flyers finished the regular season by getting shut out by the Greyhounds in a tough loss 7-0. That's it for sports this week. Here on LUTN, we'll be right back after these messages.
For over 50 years, WLRA has been on air showcasing countless students. As the first all-digital college radio station, Lewis University students are given access to industry-leading equipment. Equipment that commercial stations utilize, equipment that creates, and equipment that brings radio to life.
I like WLRA because it gives me the opportunity to get experience with news broadcasting and working with radio.
Stop by De La Salle 210 or at WLRA Radio to get started on your radio career.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Meet the Scan, a simple procedure whose mission is to detect lung cancer early.
I'm here to save you.
But I feel fine.
That's great, but you may still be at high risk for lung cancer.
Oh man, that's a new fence.
If you smoke, early detection could save your life. Learn more at savedbythescan.org.
That's it for today's news. Thank you for watching all year long. A special thanks to everyone behind the scenes for making this possible and to our audience for choosing LUTN News. And as a reminder, you can always keep up with Lewis University's television network on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and by visiting our YouTube channel. I'm Brandon Najera.
We also want to say a special thank you to our EP Riley and our TD Quinn. They've done so much for us this semester, and we couldn't do this without them. So we can't wait to see you next semester. I'm Abby Varkalis, and have a great night.